We have a brand new legal breaking update that that a judge in California just issued on Thursday, regarding Donald Trump's firings and if they're legal or illegal or not. What all does the court order state? Let's find that out and explore the details today in today's video. This article is by AFCME for immediate release, Thursday, February 27, 2025, by Nick Valcinos. And the article is titled, Federal Judge Finds Firing of Probationary Federal Employees Illegal. San Francisco, California, my editorial edition. Today, the article reads, the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, presided over by Judge William H. Alsup, granted a temporary restraining order against the Office of Personnel Management, OPM, and its acting director, Charles Izil, finding the termination of probationary federal employees illegal because OPM had no authority to order it. Judge Alsup said that when federal agencies fire employees for no reason, quote, that's just not right in our country, end quote, adding that we can't, quote, run our agencies with lies, end quote. Begin quote, the Office of Personnel Management does not have any authority whatsoever under any statute in the history of the universe to hire and fire employees at another agency, end quote, he stated. The judge ordered OPM to immediately notify federal agencies of the ruling, including the Department of Defense, which is poised to terminate the thousands of probationary employees tomorrow. My editorial edition. Judge Alsup further ordered the federal government to disclose by Tuesday the participants on the February 13 call that has been widely reported to have been the occasion which OPM ordered the agencies to terminate probationary employees. He indicated that a long-standing written, my editorial edition order a longer written order would follow shortly on the heels of today's ruling from the bench. The coalition of plaintiffs on the case include the American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFCSME, the Main Street Alliance, the Coalition to Protect America's National Parks, the Common Defense Civic Engagement, the Western Watersheds Project, AFGE Local 1216, AFGE Local 1210, Vote Vets, and United Nurses Association of California, Union of Healthcare Professionals, UNAC, UHCP. They are represented by the law firm of Altshuler Burzon LLP, and the State Democracy Defenders Fund, SDDF. The plaintiffs had the following responses to the decision. Quote, this ruling by Judge Alsup is an important initial victory for patriotic Americans across this country who were illegally fired from their jobs by an agency that had no authority to do so, end quote. Everett Kelly, National President of the American Federation of Government Employees, said, my editorial edition began, quote, these are rank and file workers who joined the federal government to make a difference in their communities, only to be suddenly terminated due to this administration's disdain for federal employees and desire to prioritize their work. OPM's direction to agencies to engage in the discriminate firing of federal probationary employees is illegal. Plain and simple, and our unions will keep fighting until we put a stop to these demoralizing and damaging attacks on our civil service once and for all, end quote. Begin quote. We know this decision is just a first step, but it gives federal employees a respite while they work to protect public health and safety. Federal workers have faced constant harassment from unelected billionaires and anti-union extremists whose only goal is to give themselves a massive tax breaks at the expense of working people. We will continue to move this case forward with our partners until federal workers are protected against these baseless terminations," end quote, said AFCSME President Lee Saunders. This decision by Judge Alsup is a major win for Main Street. The massive firings of small business administration employees creates uncertainty for time-strapped entrepreneurs. Chaos is the enemy, and this ruling brings a little bit more peace of mind to small business owners that keep our economy going, end quote, said Richard Trent, who is the executive director for the Main Street Alliance. Begin quote, "This ruling is a win for National Park Service employees who have been wrongfully fired across the country," end quote, Phil Francis said, who's the chair of the Executive Council of the Coalition to Protect America's National Parks. Quote, "NPS employees are dedicated to protecting the irreplaceable resources and stories found at over 430 units of the National Park System. Without our park rangers, our national parks, and the ability of Americans to safely visit them are at risk. We applaud today's ruling, and we look forward to continuing to work to ensure our parks and people are protected," end quote. Begin quote, "The recent mass layoffs have disproportionately affected veterans, leading to job losses and increased uncertainty. This ruling is a win for the veterans who have been impacted and rely on federal employment for stability, and these cuts have disrupted their livelihoods," end quote, said VoteVets Action Fund Chairman Major General Rhett Paul Eaton. Begin quote, "The rule of law applies to everyone, including presidential administrations." Eric Molvar, who is the executive director of Western Watersheds Project, said. My editorial edition, quote, "Federal land and wildlife agencies need staff to enforce environmental protection regardless and keep an eye on Western public lands, so we are pleased that the courts have struck down these illegal firings," end quote. Quote, "This is a win for the thousands of public servants who keep our country running, for veterans and their families who rely on the Department of Veterans Affairs and other agencies and for the millions of Americans who depend on critical government services, end quote, said Jose Vasquez, who is the executive director of Common Defense. Begin quote. The court's decision stops a blatant power grab that threatened to gut essential services from veterans' health care to disaster relief. Today, justice prevailed, but our fight continues to ensure no administration can ever again play politics with the livelihoods of those who serve our country and our communities, end quote. Begin quote. This law is clear that OPM has no authority to order the federal agencies to fire their employees. Today's ruling is important is an important first step in holding this administration accountable for these unlawful acts, end quote, said Daniel Leonard Alshuler Berzon, representing the plaintiffs. Quote, today's decision is an important victory for the rights of federal workers. The work done by plaintiffs, led by public service unions along with small business veterans and conservation organizations, has been extraordinary and tireless, said, end quote, said Norm Eising, who's the executive chair of State Democracy Defenders Fund. Begin quote, together we are going to keep holding this administration accountable whenever and wherever they try to determine or undermine, the rights of the people of the United States under the clinical guise of reform, end quote. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy today's legal breaking update, please make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please help me reach my goal for the channel of 110 plus subscribers. The reason why I'm saying 110 plus subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, is because right after we reach the goal of 110 subscribers, we have more subscribers to go after we reach the goal of 110 subscribers. A few things you can do if you don't want to miss a brand new video and a legal analysis breaking update regarding the current administration. You can click the bell icon, which is right next to the subscribe button. It does not cost anything whatsoever. It's located on the right hand side of the screen, next to the subscribe button. And you guys can also follow me on my social medias down below. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, and Threads. There, you guys can also be updated instantly whenever I post a brand new legal analysis video to the channel. Thank you everybody for watching today's legal analysis breaking video, and I will see you guys in the next legal breaking analysis video. Please stay safe in the meantime.